Hello Internet. We have 1590 Supreme. Yay, finally. Supreme has arrived. I think I've seen it before. And I already do not like what I see. A sign of a bump in here for whatever reason. I don't know. So hopefully it's not too bad. I already tried to power it on. I want to show you what it does when it gets powered. It doesn't do anything good. The fans will spin and it will not pull anywhere near the amount of power that it should. So we flip the switch and we're seeing like 1.5, 1, 2, 1 amp. Yeah, so we're like pulling 1 amp.
No fix.
Most of it is probably 5 volt and the fans themselves. So I don't know. Let's take this thing apart. Looks like a couple of screws are already missing. I kind of wonder if this is going to be a scam with no core and no memory. I do not know. I think I saw the core. I am now recording the unboxing for all of the GPUs that I take in. By default, they get recorded by my NVR, and so if I get anything suspicious, I open it right away to look inside to see if I find anything wrong, like no core or memory or something like that. But I think I verified that the core is there for this one, so I think we can proceed with the repair attempt. The reason why I'm recording the unboxing process is because a couple of customers insisted that the core was on the board when they opened it, but when I open it, there's no core and no memory, obviously. So basically I got a little bit too close to the line crossing which would get me sued. So to protect myself, I figured I don't want to get any closer to that line. I have a few more ports on my NVR. Just plug in the camera there and call it a day. Problem solved.
Short is gone. And we are done. And remove the customer balls.
With little to no effort. Just point the camera, hit the record button 24/7, and that's it. Cheap and
Stupid.
solution. Alright, let's split this thing in half. Yank them cables out. Okay, and we have ourselves the Supreme 1590 from MSI, ladies and gentlemen.
Bummer.
But, to be honest, there's nothing supreme about it. The Vanguard version, it has the exact same identical PCB. On the 4090s, you take a gaming and you take Supreme. Two identical boards, but the Supreme will have every power stage populated. So it would have potential for a whole lot more power. That was 4090. 4090, by the way, was the best GPU ever by MSI. Supreme was the best 4090 ever. For 50 series, things aren't as good because MSI decided to ditch the idea of implementing fuses. So we have no fuses here. If something blows up, we're going to have a giant crater on the board. And MSI doesn't care, and neither do I. Because MSI has now turned into a less reputable brand as far as the GPUs go.
What? That can't be true. But it is.
So, what is wrong in here? I don't know. I think we have a dead core.
That was quick.
No fix. We're gonna invoice customer balls and mail this back to the customer. I hope you enjoyed the customer balls.
What's in here? Nothing here. This is 12. 12 volt fuse is okay. 4 ohms on memory, okay. 1.2. PEX is good.
We got packs. What more do you want?
And 12, 5, 3.3. So it looks like it's reading okay. What about 5 volt here? It looks like we're reading okay.
We did an amazing job. We're gonna invoice and mail this back to the customer.
So, what is it that we're missing? A lot of times you can spot the problem just by looking around, but in this case, I'm gonna be lazy and I'm just gonna power this thing on and see what voltages we're missing.
You're too lazy, you want an easy answer, or you really have no clue.
That's right, I'm lazy. I said it. Alright, let's turn on the volt observer. The volt observer activate. There, that's going to be the volt observer. The volt overseer. Okay, let's see what we oversee in here. 5 volt. Nice. What about here? 5 volt. What about here? 1.8. Holy cow, we have 1.8. So after 1.8, do we have 1.2? Yes. No way. Well, no PEX, no memory, no MSVDD, no NVVDD. Okay, so that's interesting. We do not have voltage on the core and the memory. So we have 1.8, we have 1.2. Beautiful.
Magical.
But something is wrong. Okay, now it's time for the visual inspection. I think we have a knocked off component somewhere. Let's see where though. Looks like some attempts of someone had been here before. Obviously, wherever that paste come from, I do not know. So the core, the controller that drives the core is here. This guy that drives the core and the memory. Why is it not functioning? Let's see if there's anything damaged on the back side of that controller. I don't see anything obvious. Nothing right away. I'm gonna continue on. Okay, this is good. We have sign of damage, but this damage on the display. I wonder what the resistance of that resistor is. Cannot get the reading. Let's switch to the resistance mode. 1K. All right. So the resistor, while being half broken, is still reading 1K. So I think it's a good resistor. I'm going to go ahead and solder that resistor back to where it belongs. And because the pads of this resistor are broken, we're going to have to replace it. And that's okay. Let's replace this resistor with a new resistor that somehow is positioned upside down. So it looks like a capacitor. There. Perfect. Kind of makes me wonder if this resistor will actually be all there is, but it could be one of them VCC things or something that somehow ended up in this part of the board. So let's flip the board, let's power on the board, and that was it. Wow, look at this. Hold on a second, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Okay, here's the power meter. Let's flip the switch. There, we got the core. That the memory, yeah. The core, MSVDD, 1.2, the PEX.
Wow.
Wow, that's the easiest 1590 repair in the human history right there. I am glad that I went fighting with my PC that I use for recording. I had some issues with the audio. I thought to myself, nah, screw this. Let's just fix this card and move on with our lives. But I persisted, just like I always do. And not exactly sure where that's going to get me. The only thing I do not persist on is women. Those I just gave up on those. No point at this point. But everything else I'm pretty persistent. Or annoying, one might say. Alright, I think we're gonna post. Let's see if we get a picture. Yep, there we go. Just a flicker of an image. And ladies and gentlemen, we are in the BIOS screen. That's good. That's not 100% guaranteed that we have a fix, but it's posting, so at the very least we know memory training is passing. I'm gonna go ahead and look around this general area to see if anything else is knocked off, just to be sure. So we had a little bit of work done in here. Kind of wonder, why would a resistor so close to the display port feeding whatever signals to the buck converter that powers the core? I don't know. I don't care. All we know now is that if you ever get a 5090 that has no core, no memory, no PEX, but it has everything else, then the board looks seemingly okay. Look no further than that one resistor on the back. And let's clean this thing up, put it together, run some stress tests, and for those whose jaws did not drop from the easiest 5090 fix ever posted on YouTube, of course I'm talking about the actual repair techs such as myself, allow me to mention the tweezers, specifically ceramic tip tweezers. And I'm going to tell you why I don't like them. Well, for one, when you buy these relief tweezers here, like these ones, RT15E, and then this one is RT11E, whatever the model number is. Well, these two particular ones that I ordered, they came as a pair, and the jaws that they had, one jaws were straight, and the other jaw was an angle. And I don't use straight ones all that often, almost never, but they came as a kit, and the angled ones were as useless as the straight ones. And the reason for that is because the angle, you can see here, is just way too aggressive. So in order for me to grab something, I would have to have my tweezers like this to grab something. What I ended up doing is I ended up ordering jaws that are not nearly as aggressive on an angle, as you can see here, but the problem is they are nowhere near as fine as the original tips. And the other problem with that is, unlike stainless steel tips such as these $1 per pound tweezers, which you can grind to a point as fine as you like, that allows you to grab things as little as these trace repair kits. Let me show you. This is probably like the smallest one out there. You grab it by the tail like this. Bam. See? Can you believe it that I just grabbed this like this? I mean, this is magic. You grab this by the tail, and the reason why I'm able to do this is because I am able to sharpen the tip of these tweezers to whatever point I want. Now, the tweezers that came with that relief, they were also fine, but they were, as you can see here, they're pretty fine. Let's compare them to the stainless steel ones, and then hopefully you'll see the difference. See how finer the stainless steel tips are at the tip? Basically, I'm able to grind these tips to whatever size and fineness that I want. With these ones, because they are ceramic, there are two problems. Number one, the finer the tip, the more likely it's going to break, because ceramic does not like to flex. As a matter of fact, I'm going to demonstrate it to you on a straight one in here. So there's a straight tip, and if we were to apply pressure on it, not a whole lot, you can see that we just got a snap. And oh snap, what do? Nothing. You'll have to regrind this sucker in order to match the other tip. And the problem with these ceramic tips is that they do not like to be ground. You cannot grind them into shape using sandpaper. I even tried some of them attachments like these ones here. These attachments for the Dremel with the diamond stuff, all that stuff, yeah. It kind of worked on the finest tips on the original ones, but on these replacement ones, it does not work almost at all, because there's so much material that needs to be removed, and it's so hard to remove that the diamond bit simply cannot get this. It just cannot get it done. I don't know what to do about it. I do not know how to make these tips finer. They are too heavy, too big for what it is. So my best guess at this point is I'm not going to be using these tweezers. I will be using them. Well, I might be using them, but for heavy duty purposes like connectors and big things and whatnot. Mainly connectors, I would imagine. But for everything else, they're pretty useless. And even for connectors, sometimes you kind of have to just pry in between the cracks. And because your tips are nowhere near as fine as you would want them to, it's just not gonna be possible. How am I supposed to sharpen these or grind them to a whatever point that I need them to be, or shape that I want them to be? I have no idea. So if you know, let me know. I would be more than happy to learn the ways of the Jedi so that I can make my own ceramic tips. Wouldn't that be great? And aside from that, let's put this thing back together, run some tests, which I think are going to run just fine. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was educating, maybe entertaining. And if it was, you owe me a like. Goodbye.